Hello everybody, Loki Magics, another day, another video, but this video is going to cover a few things, but it's mainly going to be focusing on the Barbarian faction wars for stage 21. I did beat it, but what I did was I used a few champions that I feel like is going to be very good for Doom Tower, so that's like a plus. If you're struggling on Barbarian faction wars and you need to build some teams, then hey, maybe you could consider the team comp that I used. And also I wanted to showcase just slightly the Blood Soak champion, the new epic for this fusion event, right? So if all that sounds interesting, let's get right into it. Alright, so this is my team, nothing real special, and yes, I am using a legendary champion, but she is a free-to-play legendary champion, which you will get, I believe, in your 180-day login reward. So I don't know how many people right now currently have her or don't have her, but for sure she is super good for faction wars and dungeon progression, and I am very sure she's going to be very good for Doom Tower. So if you're not using her in your Barbarian factions, then man, you should definitely use her. She is worth it. And that, with all that being said, let's check out her stats, her artifacts, etc., and see how I got her built out for this run. So this champion right here is extremely good for faction wars and dungeon progression because she simply does everything you need for that type of content. Her A2 attacks all enemies 2 times, and each hit has a 20% chance of placing stun debuff for 1 turn. It's not like the best A2 when it comes to attack all stun type, but it does do what it needs to do. It is very good. It will help you out for sure clearing out content in this game. But her A3 is even more very vital in faction wars because this revives, right? And I think Alton is the only other barbarian that has revive in their skill set. I'm not sure, so definitely having this champion have a revive and a attack all stun, and it's free to play friendly, makes her the ideal choice for faction wars, right? And then her passive heals all allies by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn, which is super good, and increased speed buff on a random ally for 2 turns, right? So this champion pretty much has everything you need to progress through faction wars. So definitely use her if you're not using her, and you can really just build a team around her. That's what most people do because she is the key ingredient to beating faction wars for the Barbarian faction. And also I should mention I did not use any books on her, and I did just fine. And boom, no masteries, right? So very free to play friendly. This is her overall stats when it comes to her artifacts. So pretty friendly champion, right? Pretty chill. All right, so that being that, let's move on to the next champion. And before we do that though, I should mention on Faction War Stage 21, definitely take out this champion first. And then once this one's down, take out this guy, and you should be good to go. Those two are probably the most annoying champion in this first round. But anyways, okay, let's talk about the second champion, and it is Skytouch Shaman. I will have to say she is the second most important member in my team comp. She really does a lot, and I'm not sure if she's like a popular champion, but I really think she's a cool champion, and I really think she's going to be good for Doom Tower. But what does she do? So her A1 is a little situational. This attacks all enemies. Now if you're above 50% HP, you will be healed by 15% of damage inflicted, but if you're under 50% HP, then you will get a 20% turn meter boost, right? So her A1 situational, but it really synergizes with her kit, because her A2 removes all debuffs from allies, then places revive on death, buff, and block debuff on all allies for 2 turns. So that is pretty cool. And also, if you're going to book this champion but you want to be cheap on books, aim for this A2. Try to get this on a lower turn cooldown, and if you land it, then just stick with that, right? But if you want to fully level up, book her out, please do, because she is a great champion. And her passive damages this champion by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn, and then heals all allies except this champion equal to half of the HP loss. So the faster she goes, the more heals she could push out, and it does come with a cost. She will get decreased speed and fear, and you cannot resist this, or her block debuffs won't this won't, I guess, protect her from this. You will always land this, so it kind of sucks, but her healing output is far greater than these 2 debuffs will ever hinder her. So it's kind of weird, and it works out in a weird way. So this champion is really cool. And then the way her masteries, I don't have any because she's that good. You don't need to do any masteries for her. And then here you go. her artifact sets. I put her relentless because I figured the more she goes, the better it will be. And then also in Faction Wars too, you definitely want to be fast, right? So you can see her speed is pretty high too. You don't want to be slow in Faction Wars. I think the main stats in Faction Wars is definitely HP, defense, speed, and accuracy. Those are the ones you want to focus on when it comes to Faction Wars. Okay, so enough of Sky Touch Shaman. Now let's talk about the other champions. Pro tip number 2, definitely kill this champion. For some reason, I feel like killing him first just makes everything easier. Alright, but with that being said, let's talk about the third champion. Alright, Rage Mongler. Now this champion isn't really nothing too special. He has been around for a while and he actually does a lot, right? Well, content wise, he's pretty good for clan boss because his A1 does continuous heal, his A2 has poison, and his A3 has HP burn. So kind of the same concept. This champion is really good for faction wars because he applies poisons and HP burns, and for clan boss he's really good because of the same reason. So the champion is a classic. He's very reliable, very squishy. That's why it's important that you have healers and revivers, but he can dish out the damage you need. And this is Masteries, this is his clan boss build, and it works for faction wars also. And let's look at his artifacts. I didn't fully upgrade these, so that's cool. Alright, here we go, individual pieces, and then his overall stats. HP not bad, attack's pretty good, defense okay. He's a little bit slower because I feel like we overdid his accuracy. We could definitely probably take 30 points off of here and scoot it over to speed if possible. So don't overbuild your accuracy for faction wars. And since we're here, let's just go to Blood Drake. I'm sure these champions are doing fine in the crypt right now, but this guy right here, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought he'll be a lot better, but for some reason, well, I didn't do his masteries. So maybe that's why I didn't really feel his A2 being that effective. I mean, this is supposed to attack one enemy 2 times. The first hit places a shield equal to 25% of damage inflicted on all allies for 2 turns. And the second hit heals all allies by 10% of the damage inflicted. So maybe if I had War Master down here, it might have made that A2 a lot better. But I really just didn't feel this A2. Like, I didn't feel the presence of this A2 in my team comp, if that makes sense. So I don't know, but I really also think that if you don't have a decrease attack defense champion, then definitely use this guy. But I don't know, I just can't help but think that there's a better choice. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like you don't need to build this champion to be successful. You could probably honestly get away with 2 Rage Mongers. I mean, this one is fully booked, but you know, you can stack, well, you can't stack HP burn, but you can stack poisons, right? So I don't know about this champion too much. He is fully booked also, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't book him. I mean, well, didn't do his masteries, because I don't know, I just feel like he's a little bit of a waste of resource. But you guys let me know how you feel about him. But this is his artifacts. And I really don't like saying if a champion's good or not, because some people get really mad, but I don't know, man. Like, sometimes it doesn't work for people's account, I guess. But here you go, not too bad speed, and this was pretty good accuracy for him. He actually landed those debuffs, so you know, somewhere around here up to 250 I feel like is the safe zone. And what I meant was, I just feel like, you know, yeah, of course for Wells the champion's not gonna do anything, but I don't know, I just feel like sometimes I guess you just don't realize their potential, or you overhype them. I don't know. But anyways, moving on, enough of that. So this is the last champion, Aleca. She's pretty good. She did do a lot of damage in my team comp. She's just a straight melee type champion. She ignores defense, but this A3 is kind of cool because it attacks all enemies, has a 75% increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 1. So this is a pretty cool A3. The only downside to this champion that it takes, look, 7 books, what is that, 13, 20 books to fully book her. So that is pretty crazy for an epic champion. And I also, just like Bloodsoak, I don't feel like you need to have her in your comp for your team to work. I just think the 3 DPS that I chose just happen to just work. And I feel like for Barbarian factions, there's a lot of champions out there that could fill those DPS or slots. So just take that in consideration when you're building your faction war team for Barbarians. And this is her Masteries. It's not done, so that's good for you guys if you're trying to copy my build. This is her artifacts. Nothing crazy. Overall stats, nice. HP, attack, defense, very slow, very slow, but she got the job done. So yep. All right, so now we looked over every champion. Let's go back to our team and see how they're doing. Hopefully they're not dead. And it looks like they made it to the boss. And once you're here, all you have to do is kill this ad first, and then kill this one, and boom, you are done, because you can hit auto and the team will take care of the boss. And that is going to be it for this video. I really feel like there's not much to say for Barbarian Faction Wars, because once you get this legendary at your 180-day mark, that can be long for some people, right? Because maybe you just started playing this game. But for most people, I think, you know, you might have pulled her already, because she does pop up a lot in the shards, or you've been playing for over 180 days. So you might have her, and maybe you just didn't know how good she was. So that's really the point of this video, just throwing out some more information out there on Barbarian Faction, so that way people have a better pool of knowledge, and from there you could decide what you want to do. This team comp does work. You saw everything you need to build it, so hopefully if you are struggling, this could help you. If not, hey, you know, it's just another video on another day. So yeah, and I guess the weekend's over, so hopefully you guys will have a good week, and catch you on the next one. All right, peace, and congrats to the winner of my giveaway video. Congratulations.